Okay, let's dive in. Running Tamiya RC cars, especially those really cool vintage ones or the re-releases in the snow, it's a unique challenge. If
Hmm.
you've ever pictured doing power slides in fresh powder, well, you know the dream. But there are real risks involved.
Definitely.
So this deep dive, we're pulling from the sources to really arm you with what you need from spotting the hazards to, careful prep.
Right. Our mission here is basically to distill the critical info you need for running these things successfully and sustainably in winter.
Sustainably, yeah.
We're focusing on how to handle those specific winter risks,
Mhm.
getting the vehicle ready, and crucially, what to do after the run to keep those Tamiya legends going.
Okay, so winter means cold, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, these RCs are pretty tough, aren't they? What's the actual biggest weakness out there in the freezing temps?
Yeah, you'd think so, but hands down, it's plastic embrittlement.
Embrittlement.
Yeah. In freezing cold, the ABS plastic that Tamiya used for so many classic parts,
Mhm.
the main chassis tub, suspension arms, gearbox cases, it just becomes incredibly fragile. Honestly, think eggshell fragile.
Wow, really? That fragile?
Seriously, an impact that would be totally fine in summer. It could literally shatter apart in the cold. It's a big dilemma for collectors, right? Do you
Hmm.
risk those maybe irreplaceable vintage bits just for some fun in the snow?
Yeah, that's a really tough call. Okay, so broken parts aside, even if you drive super carefully, there's another killer lurking, isn't there? Moisture. How does simple water become such a big deal?
Moisture.
Dang.
Well, it brings what we can call the triad of moisture threats.
Okay.
First up, electrical shorts. Your electronics, especially older, non-waterproof ones like those old mechanical speed controllers or even early ESCs, super vulnerable. Melted snow gets in, boom, short circuit.
Right, makes sense.
Second, corrosion. Water itself is bad, but if it has road salt mixed in, forget about it.
Mhm.
It attacks metal parts, screws, bearings, drive shafts incredibly fast. You could see serious rust in seized parts after just one run in salty slush if you're not careful.
Oof. Okay, salt is bad. What's the third threat?
Third is lubricant thickening and seizure. The
Mm-hmm.
cold makes shock oil and gear grease thicker, which, adds drag, makes everything sluggish.
Hmm.
And worse, if water gets into bearings or gears and then it freezes, it can completely lock them up solid.
Man, it really does sound like an invisible war zone for the car. What about the batteries? Does the cold mess with power and how the car actually performs?
Oh, absolutely. We call it the power drain. Cold temps wreak havoc on battery chemistry. Take lipos, for example. Below about 50 Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius, you'll notice a drop in top speed. Get down below freezing, like 0 Fahrenheit or negative 20 C. Their useful power output can seriously plummet, maybe cut in half.
Half? Wow.
Yeah, so you get sluggish performance, runs are way shorter, and it affects NAMH packs too. Even the NAs in your transmitter might drain faster.
Okay, so knowing all these dangers, the plastic, the water, the power drain, how do you actually fight back? What's the main idea for, winterizing a Tamiya? Especially the electronics.
The absolute golden rule is assume nothing electronic is waterproof unless it specifically says it is.
Right. Assume the worst.
Exactly. For protecting them, you've got options. There's the simple kind of splash-proof balloon method,
Yeah?
literally putting the receiver or ESC
Yeah.
in a balloon. It's reversible but limited.
Okay.
Or you can go more pro with conformal coating, which properly waterproofs, but it's generally not reversible. Crucially, though, if you have a true vintage model with original electronics, seriously consider taking them out.
Wow. Store them safely.
Yeah, store the originals and put in modern factory waterproof electronics just for winter running. That way you preserve the valuable vintage stuff.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, what about the chassis itself? Those classic Tamiya bathtub designs. These seem like they just scoop up snow like crazy.
Oh, they absolutely do. It is a snow magnet. That tub will pack solid with snow.
Yeah, I can picture it.
And then, as it starts to melt inside, water drips onto your electrics. But there's another sneaky problem. That pat snow acts like insulation or the motor in ESC.
Wait, insulation so they could overheat in the cold?
Exactly. It sounds crazy, but yes, overheating because the snow stops air getting to them. So chassis covers are pretty much essential. You can get aftermarket mesh or clear Lexan ones, or even make one yourself.
Okay.
And maybe put a clear vinyl sheet on the bottom too, just to protect the chassis plastic from scratches on ice or crusty snow.
Right. Good tip. So, chassis covered, electronics protected. How do we get the power down smoothly? What needs changing in the drivetrain for, smooth running and getting grip?
Good question. For the drivetrain, you want to switch to lighter weight silicone oil in the shocks and diffs if you have oil-filled ones.
Yeah.
Use low-temperature grease in the gearbox.
Lighter fluids, okay?
And definitely upgrade to rubber seal bearings if you haven't already. Even better, proactively pack them with marine-grade waterproof grease before you run. And maybe spray metal hardware like screws and pins with a water-displacing spray.
Like WD-40 or something similar?
Yeah, something like that. For grip, dedicated paddle tires are king in loose, deep snow. For packed snow or ice, you really want studded tires. You could even make your own, just drive short screws through an old set of tires from the inside out.
Ha! DIY studs. Love it.
One really crucial detail. Seal up the little vent holes in your wheels. Otherwise, water gets sucked in, soaks the foam inserts, throws the wheel balance way off, and can freeze solid.
Ah, never would have thought of that. Okay, seems like a lot of prep. So let's get to the fun part, actually driving it. What are the key things to remember right before and during a snow run?
Okay, operation time. Pre-launch, keep your batteries warm, like in a pocket, until the very last second you install them.
Right, for max power.
Yep. And here's the one people always forget, but it's vital. Let the whole vehicle acclimate outside in the cold for maybe 20-30 minutes before you power it on and run.
Acclimate. Why?
Because if you bring a warm RC straight out into freezing temps, snow instantly melts on contact, then refreezes into ice. It can bind up moving parts right away. Let it cool down first.
Ah, clever. Okay.
While driving, just be smooth, gentle on the throttle, gentle steering. Avoid ramming snowbanks or doing huge jumps where you land hard. Remember that brittle plastic.
Right, easy does it.
And the biggest, don't. Avoid road salt if you possibly can. Yeah. Seriously, that stuff is pure evil for metal parts. Stay on fresh snow in parks or yards if possible.
Got it. Salt is the enemy. So, okay, you've had your fun. You were careful. The run's over. What's the absolute mandatory ritual afterwards to save the car from, like, slowly rusting away or seizing up? Because skipping this wastes all the prep, right?
100%. The post-run ritual is absolutely non-negotiable. First thing, disconnect the battery immediately.
Okay.
Then, while you're still outside, knock off as much loose snow and ice as you can. Then bring it inside. Let it melt completely. Rinse it thoroughly, especially if you even suspect salt exposure. Maybe use a soft brush to get grit off.
Rinse even the electronics.
If they're properly waterproofed, yes. If not, you have to be more careful, obviously. But the most critical step is next, drying. You need to aggressively blow dry every single nook and cranny. Use compressed air if you have
That
it.
is so aggressive.
To prevent flash rust on metal parts like bearing races, hinge pins, screw heads, it can happen incredibly fast as the water evaporates. Get everything dry. Bearings, pins, motors, electronics housings. Then spray those metal parts again with a water-displacing product. And finally, re-oil your bearings, because those strays often strip away lubrication.
Wow. That is meticulous. Okay, this has been a fantastic deep dive. It really highlights this delicate balance, doesn't it, between the sheer fun of sliding a classic Tamiya around in the snow and the, frankly, almost obsessive level of care needed to make sure it survives to run another day.
It really was a balance.
Yeah.
And, it makes you think, given all these pretty extreme steps we've just talked about for just running an RC car in the snow, what other maybe surprising hobbies or even just items do you think demand an equally specialized, dedicated prep routine just to handle challenging conditions? Makes you wonder, right?